Film fans of YouTube, hello and welcome back to the channel. I am Josh, your Movie Apprentice, and today I am looking at Furiosa and Mad Max Saga, directed by George Miller and starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and Tom Burke. This follows a young Furiosa who, many years before stealing the show from Max himself, is on a mission of revenge against the man Dementus, who took her home, her family, and her childhood from her. Before I get into my review, if you do like seeing the channel, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. Without further ado, let's jump right into this. So I'll come into this straight away and admit I have not seen Mad Max Fury Road. It's one of those films that I've always wanted to go and watch, but I've never been able to sit down and watch it for one reason or another. I will be watching it now, and I have to say straight off the bat that Anya Taylor-Joy is continuing to prove that she is well and truly a star, and I am wondering where I'm going to start getting some Oscar or at least some awards performances from her when it comes to big screen movies. Because Anya Taylor-Joy has kind of been this little bit of a typecast, tends to go for genre pieces for the most part, such as The Witch and The Northman. Funnily enough, Furiosa did remind me a bit of The Northman. If I had to describe Furiosa, it was a blend of The Northman and Gangs of New York with a bit of Vinland Saga thrown in there, set in the Mad Max wasteland. And Anya Taylor-Joy has checked action movies off her bucket list. She has some big shoes to fill. Charlize Theron's performance as Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road is an iconic performance to the point where Furiosa, the character, got her own prequel because of the statement that character left on audiences back then. So she had big shoes to fill, and Anya Taylor-Joy, while I had some doubts if she'll be able to pull off action really well and pull in that anger that Furiosa possesses, she does a fantastic job in this. However, the star of the show in this is Chris Hemsworth. He is incredible. Chris Hemsworth can play a very compelling villain. Some of us have got a taste of that already from his small performance in Bad Times at the El Royale, and here he is just the perfect balance of charismatic and insane, but also has a level of depth hidden underneath his skin, and the character is just an absolute joy to watch and steals the scene whenever he is on screen. For a movie that focuses heavily on the action set pieces and doesn't dive too much into characters' emotions and motivations and very much focuses on a visual storytelling perspective, I will say the exchange between Dementus and Furiosa towards the end of the movie is palpable. It is very palpable and is one of the strongest exchanges I've seen exchanged between two opposing characters in a movie in quite some time. Those of you that have seen it will know exactly what I'm talking about. But genuinely, for a film that focused heavily on action and didn't really focus too much on emotional levels, it hit all at once. The film very much saved its emotional beat for that scene, and it worked fantastically for me. The action set pieces are absolutely incredible. Just the way that George Miller builds this world of the wasteland and just how deep the struggle is for just basic resources that we take for granted today. You know, within the first 10 minutes or so, how precious resources are. People are getting shot and the bags are being collapsed, and people are literally stopping to get them resources from their fallen comrade because they're just so sparse, and the motivations are really, really good. It doesn't feel like anyone is particularly a bad guy, it's just everyone is struggling for survival. This film very much shows how harrowing this wasteland is. I'm assuming Fury Road did the exact same thing, but again, I have not seen it. The only Mad Max film I've seen prior to this one was Beyond Thunderdome. So this just really helped hammer home to me personally just how diabolical this wasteland is. The cinematography in this is absolutely incredible. The way they film everything in the day and then correct it after the fact to show nighttime just gives us some very gorgeous night scenes, and the way it uses the barren desert is incredible as well. This is a film that just sucks you in with its action set pieces, its cinematography, and its kooky characters. Yes, there are some nods to Fury Road, but my argument for that is that this is set before Fury Road. Fury Road basically takes place immediately after the credits roll in this. In fact, the credits in this, I believe, just show the entirety of Fury Road, or at least the highlights. So I had to literally run out of the cinema to avoid those spoilers for myself. And seeing Anya Taylor-Joy just taking the reins from Charlize Theron in this was very good to see. I love Anya Taylor-Joy. Her evolution since showing up in 2017 Split, which came out 2 years after Mad Max Fury Road. Imagine telling Anya Taylor-Joy then that she would assume the role of Furiosa many years later. It's just a great journey to watch. I can't wait to see what she does next. But once again, just the action set pieces alone make this film stand out. I've seen some people put this film down purely because the action set pieces are good, but they're expected to be good. I don't feel like that should be a criticism of the movie. End of the day, Mad Max Fury Road is praised heavily for its action set pieces and its practical effects and how all the special effects are damn near hidden. I feel like that sort of action is very hard to replicate, and just the sequences showing this, particularly one particular scene on the Fury Road defending a truck, is an absolutely incredible sequence. And I like how this film tells so little in terms of story and character narrative, but manages to develop a compelling arc. My only real complaints with this movie is that sometimes the frame rate is a bit jarring, and there are people that will get shot off a truck or a bike, and the way they ragdoll looks really fake. It's very jittery, and it does pull me out of the film a little bit and ruin some of my suspension of disbelief. And whilst I appreciate that, a lot of the really brutal deaths in this, because there are some very horrid ways people are killed in this movie, I feel like for one particular character, I felt there was an emotional connection we were supposed to form. And sadly, I did not get that connection with this character. So when they bite the big one, the fact that we technically don't really see it happen, like it kind of happens over time, but we never see the aftermath or the moment of death. It's just kind of that character's dead now. Let's move on. That is a jarring moment for me. End of the day, that character was a small part of a wider story. The runtime is going to detract a few people from this movie. The fact that we don't get Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa until about half hour into the movie, because the film spends a good half hour setting up Furiosa being taken from home, losing her family, and how she ends up under the control of Joe. That is a compelling first half hour of the movie, and it's great following her journey. Could this have been trimmed down a little bit? Sure, but I, for one, enjoyed the ride from start to finish. So even if it was cut down, I would not have complained too much, but I genuinely do not feel like the runtime for me personally was a major detractor. Before I get into my grade, if you like what you're seeing on the channel, click the like button and subscribe for more video reviews that's coming all the time. But without further ado, let's grade this. So Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga, is a fantastic prequel to a fantastic character that stole many people's hearts, and I cannot wait to join the people that were introduced to that character. Anya Taylor-Joy has some huge shoes to fill from Charlize Theron's performance, and I think she did an expert job. She has shown she can fit well into any genre and really break from her typecast. She had to tell a lot of her emotion through a physical facial performance, and the few times where she was allowed to put emotion into the lines of dialogue, she made absolute sure to put them lines in there. Chris Hemsworth, just let this guy be a villain more often. He is absolutely incredible as Dementus. I really enjoy the character. He is very much an antagonist and not an outright villain. Sure, he does monstrous things, but in this wasteland, everyone is doing monstrous things just to survive. And the way George Miller sets up the world through the cinematography and the storytelling and just the general economics of this world, it's translated very well. And while the film is a bit on the long side, I enjoyed the ride from start to finish. I'm going to have to say that for me, Furiosa and Mad Max Saga is a great cup of tea. So Furiosa and Mad Max Saga, have you seen it? If you have, let me know your thought down in the comments below. Let me know your ranking of all the Mad Max movies. I will probably do a little quick thoughts on Fury Road coming later down the line, and coming up on the channel, I will be reviewing Sting, which is kind of funny, the fact that we're only just now getting a big budget spider movie in horror. That feels like it's been long overdue, so I can't wait to bring that review to you. But until next time, everybody, I am Josh, I have been your Movie Apprentice, and I'll see you all in the next video.